A very good morning to one and all present here and dear participants. Nehru Memorial College welcomes you all for the 3 days faculty development program. Our college is situated in southwestern region of India in Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka. The college is sponsored by the great educationalist Dr. Kurunji Venkataramana Gowda, the founder president of Academy of Liberal Education, for the upliftment of education to the rural students in 1976. We have BA, BCom, BBA, BSc and BSW regular courses in UG level and also MCom and MSW in PG level. We have completed 3 cycles of NAAC accreditation in 2018 and waiting for the 4th cycle. As you know, the Department of Commerce and IQAC of Nehru Memorial College organizes the 3 days national level faculty program on the concept and the development of research methodology with the intention to enrich the knowledge of teaching fraternity. So I welcome you all for the success of the program. Thank you for watching our college glimpses. Now, the time to start the program with a formal welcome for the resource persons and the chief guests and president of our program. I request Mrs. Ratnavati D, HOD of Commerce and IQAC coordinator to welcome the guests and participants.
Good morning all. The harder you work for something, the greater you feel when you achieve it. Today, we are here to conduct faculty development program after a lot of hard work of our faculty over here. I, Ratnavati D, Head of the Department of Commerce, would like to welcome the President of 3 days National Level FDP webinar on Concept and Development of Research Methodology, Dr. Poppa Gowda K, Principal of our college. He always support and encourage us in all activities. I welcome you, sir. I heartily welcome Dr. K.V. Chidananda, sir, President, AOLA Register Sulya, Srimati Shobha Chidanand, Treasurer, AOLA Register Sulya, and Architect Akshay K.C., Director, AOLA Register Sulya, for their constant support and encouragement. I welcome you all. I extremely feel proud to welcome Dr. B. Nagaraju, Professor of Commerce. PG Department of Commerce and Research, Mysore University, resource person of today's webinar on writing skills of research article. I welcome you, sir. The heartily welcome Chief Guest, Professor M. Balachandra Gowda, sir, Academic Advisor, Nehru Memorial College, Sulia, to this program, who is always guiding us. I welcome you, sir. Student Welfare Officer of our college and Organizing Secretary of this FDP, Mr. Rudrakumar MM, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, is being with us. I cordially welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
It is with great pleasure on behalf of our management, principal and staff, I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants from various institutions. I welcome you all. I also welcome HODs, teaching staff and non-teaching staff of our institution. I welcome you all. Finally, I welcome one and all who helped directly and indirectly to this 3 days national level FDP webinar from 15th July to 17th July 2021. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam. I welcome you also for the program. And now I request Professor M. Balachandra Gowda, retired principal of our college and at present academic advisor of our college, to inaugurate the 3 days faculty development program. And for the success of the program, I request you to inaugurate, sir.
Good morning to everyone. At the very outset, let me bring the greetings of our President, Dr. K.V. Chidananda, Treasurer, Srimati Shobha Chidananda, and our Executive Director, Architect Akshay. I'm very happy that Nehru Memorial College, India is organizing this 3 days webinar on concepts of research and development, guided by the 3 eminent scholars of our state. I'm very happy that Dr. Nagaraj of Mysore University is going to guide our faculty members. I'm very happy that I could see him when I was the principal of MMK and SDM College, Mysore. From 2002 to 2010 years I was there. I used to visit the department. Professor Dr. Renuka Acharya was my classmate and my close friend. I used to meet many professors in the Mysore. So I am glad. So good morning to you, sir. I am very happy to see you. Similarly, another eminent person, Dr. Nias of Srinivas University, Mangalore, is also associating. And further, Professor Vedava of Mangalore University. Of course, I don't know, I was the syndicate member long back in 2001 and 2. I used to visit the Mangalore city very frequently, officially and otherwise. So I'm glad that these 3 eminent people are sparing their precious time to help the faculty members of commerce for the development of their not only personality, but also the research and other activities. The new education policy of 2020 is giving more importance to research. You know that particularly in the honors degree, the last year is devoted for research and development. Similarly, in the PG, the second year is entirely devoted for research and development. So I am very happy that this program is going to be really beneficial to the faculty members, because unless you concentrate on research and development, progress in the education policy is not possible. So I am happy that the Department of Commerce of our college, Nehru Memorial College, Sulia, is organizing this 3 days webinar. So I congratulate the head of department, Srimati Ratnavati, and Professor Rudra Kumar, the coordinator of the program, and the principal, Dr. Popakaniyur. I wish the 3 days program a grand success. So officially, I inaugurate this webinar and request all the faculty members to make use of this program successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for inaugurating our 3 days program and for remembering our Dr. Nagaraju, sir, as your known person in Mysore. And sir was my teacher and my guru. Now, I request our beloved principal, Dr. Popagowda K. He is the enthusiastic person to encourage our faculty development program. He was called me at the lockdown period itself only. Rudra Kumar, you have to conduct some webinars regarding your subject or something. It is beneficial for the faculty member. So I was talked to our sir, and Nagaraj sir was also accepted my request, and I will be with you. You go ahead, and I will be with you. And then the same thing I told our principal, and he is agreed, and he was given support for us for the FTP program. Sir, I request you to address the gathering now.
Good morning, everybody. Dear Chief Guest, resource person of this webinar, organizers and participants. Department of Commerce and IQAC of our college organizes 3 days national level faculty development program on research methodology for the benefit of the research scholars and the teaching faculty, and also it is very important for your career advancement like promotion, etc. The topic chosen for the faculty development program on concept and development of research methodology for the social science faculty to develop the framework of research. So I wish you all success of faculty development program for 3 days. Utilize the well-known resource person's talk. I wish you once again, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wishes for the success of our program. And we'll continue with the major concept of this program. Today, I'm glad to introduce my teacher into the session. It's my pleasure to introduce our resource person, Professor Dr. B. Nagaraju, sir, my teacher guru of MCOM at University of Mysore. Professor Nagaraju, sir, is pursued BCom, MCOM, and PhD at University of Mysore. His area of specialization is financial management, business research methods, management, HRM, marketing management. Sir has got 24 years of teaching experience at University of Mysore for the postgraduate level. So while coming to the research experience and publications, under his guidance, 10 PhD scholars successfully completed and awarded PhD, and 8 scholars pursuing PhD, and 13 students have completed MPhil under Sir guidance. Coming to the publication, Sir has published more than 70 articles in national and international reputed and UGC care list journals of ISSN and ISBN books. Sir was presented 41 articles in national and international conferences. While coming as a resource person, Sir has given more than 50 talks in many colleges and national and international seminars and workshops. Nagaraju sir has visited abroad for the purpose of academic record as a chief guest, resource person and to present the research papers also in Nepal, Sri Lanka and Malaysia many times. Sir is in the editorial board of Commerce and Management Explorer, Management and Accounting Review, Kyrgyz Journal of Social Sciences, International Journal of Business Intelligence and Innovations. Sir worked as a board member of the Commerce in the University of Mysore, board examination chairman, course coordinator for the refresher courses in Commerce and Management, and conducted faculty development programs and orientation programs on GST and so on. The list will go on when I supposed to go for giving more information. So presently, sir is working as a deputy coordinator of UGC SAPDRC. So, sir, it's my great pleasure to have you in the FDP, as well known as the well-known resource person in our national faculty development program. So thank you for accepting my invitation for the resource person. By this, I welcome you for the session, sir.
Thank you very much, Udul Kumar.
Welcome, sir. The session is yours, sir.
Yes. Good morning, one and all. At the outset, it's my duty to convey my gratitude to institution, particularly Nehru Memorial College, particularly founders, management, principal, HOD, coordinator of this program, and faculty of the college, and student friends, everyone. Here I don't want to miss anyone, but it's not possible to say every name or person. So that's why I just convey my gratitude to everyone. Good morning, one and all. Namaskara, ellarigu. Of course, today we are having a session that too on research report writing. So here, first we have to understand, is it really required for us? Whether it is academician or businessman or even common human being also. That is the thing here I am thinking. That's why I have chosen this topic, because of course we are doing some innovations or inventions or any new generation of idea. But the thing here, whether it is communicated or not, that thing we have to clear with that, how we have to communicate. So for that, in what way you are going to communicate, how you are going to write your proposal or your inventions or innovations, that is the thing we have to focus. So with that view, today I have taken research report writing. I hope that may be appear in the screen. Here, first we have to consider it before starting this concept. Normally, for a human being or academician, every moment is changing. Every moment is changing. We are not fixed with the time, because the time is moving always. We have to give more importance to seconds or minutes or hours or day or week or whatever you consider. But 1 second if we miss, it is not possible to get back. This is the thing we know very clearly. At the same time, in that moment, we are facing or we are seeing some changes. Normally, the changes always create some challenges. The changes create always challenges. That may be a challenge or change most of the moment we are facing. Where we have this, we have to create something new. For that, we need to have some commitment, as well as at the end, we have to contribute something to the society or academics or business or wherever you consider. The thing is here, change, challenge, create, contribute. This is the thing first we have to focus in research. Because already we know some concepts, we know some ideas, we know some informations, but the thing, it is not possible to keep always with the static way. It is changing or it is outdated. That's why here we have to search again and again for updating that information or idea. So that is the thing here we are going to consider that too in research. But here where we go with the meaning or definition or theory. The research means where we think in systematic way, scientific way, scheduled way, time bounded way, or specialized way. There only we can say research. In a simple manner, we can say here we are trying to know known to unknown. That means already known something, but now we are trying to know unknown thing. That is the thing here we are going to focus. So with this here, I would like to present my paper on particularly how to write a research report or how to submit a research proposal. That is the thing here I am going to think. So normally every concept is started with some introduction or a meaning or definition or whatever. Where you written that research proposal, it should have some contents particularly. Otherwise, it is not possible to reach for whom you are going to submit. So that's why here we are going to follow one universal format. So that format here I am going to inform you in a little bit way. I am not saying my format is ultimate or my work is final. No, I am not saying like that. But the thing here, I am just conveying whatever I am thinking in universal format, which I collected the information that I want to share with you. So with this, as you know that where we go for developing any ideas or research proposal or thesis or dissertation, whichever, most of the moment we are going to start beginning, introduction. Here the basic question is, what do you mean by introduction? Because we are having some similar words with that. Introduction, that one word. Preamble, we have another word. Prelude, prologue, preface, forward. Likewise, line in, even we are having one more word also. So why we are going to use all these where we start with our proposal or idea or proposition or any approach? So that's why here, what is the beginning, whether it is introduction or preamble or prelude or prologue or preface or forward. Suppose if you see the book, most of the time you are going to see the beginning, that is preface or forward. But research proposal is not like that. Of course, there also we are going to give, some dignitaries are giving their a forward or a preface for our work. So that can also, but in some extent, we are not focusing always with that, method. So that is the thing. So here the basic questions related with whether it is introduction is right or preamble is right or prelude is right or prologue is right. That is the thing we have to understand. What do you mean by introduction or preamble or prelude or prologue? That thing first, if you understand, then I think it is very easy to start with your paper. So that is the thing here. I'm just thinking on that. Of course, whatever you are going to start with the quotation or annotation or dialogue or preface or forward, but it is begin with introduction itself, of course. Preamble, prelude, prologue, these are all just you are going to colorizing or enhancing the value of the, the writing or whatever the thing you are going to share. So that is the thing. Preamble, you know that in some extent we are going to give some quotations or annotations, which are the words given by some experts or researchers. So that thing we are going to consider. Prelude, here this can also like that way where we put some informations. For example, normally now we are following that abstract format, abstract form. So there what actually we are going to focus. So in abstract, normally we are going to focus whatever the summary year afterwards I am going to define or I am going to explain or I am going to submit, in that way we are going to give. So like this. So the thing is where you start with your research paper in the form of writing or developing. So there first you have to focus, that is introduction, preamble, prelude, prologue, preface, forward. So there only I think the reader may understand in little bit, or he may have some interest to go forward. That is the thing here we are going to think. The next thing here, I just want to continue with the content of introductory part. So what actually we are going to cover in this, part, the introductory part. So here I have given
Medical
some
college service staff answer
points,
la faculty
need and its implications, scope and importance, recent tendency and its influence,
Please mute yourself.
facts
Please
and
mute yourself.
figures, middle of study. I hope somebody is interfering with
Yes,
the
sir.
voice.
Hi.
Yeah, please inform
I
me.
asked her to mute.
Okay.
Participants, please mute
So-
yourself. Otherwise, it will be disturbing our resource person. Okay.
No, not only for me. I think there is no use also. If
Yeah,
I
yes,
go
sir,
with
yes,
that,
sir.
there is no use also. That's why.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
No, first you consider most of the moment where we go for developing introduction part. So it's totally confusion in what way I have to start my work. So that's why first you have to focus what actually you are going to highlight your proposal or your approach. So, in what way your topic or your proposition is very much important. That is the thing first you have to begin. So, here need and its implication. So, whichever the topic or whichever the idea you have taken for submitting, so that first you have to clarify or you have to defend or you have to convince whether it is needed or not. That is the thing we have to focus. For example, now I think you may be aware of after this pandemic movement, I'm saying the last year, so every concept is related with COVID-19, 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 like that. Everyone has developed. Of course, because at that moment, is there any change or is there any challenge? In that way, they have thought. So with that view, first we have to highlight in what way your concept or your topic is very much important. Why that thing is used or why that thing is necessary. That is the thing first you have to consider. Need and its implications. So there only it creates some interest or it creates some curiosity to go forward. So that is the thing here we have to give. At the same time, where you are giving any idea or any approach or any proposition is not possible to cover all the things. For example, COVID education in COVID movement, that is one area. Medical field in COVID movement, that is another area. Security movements in COVID, that is one more. So that's why here first you have to highlight what actually you are going to cover. So the scope and importance. We are having so many fields or so many areas, but here where you go with any one wing or one facet, then only it is possible to give very good information or a very good idea for that. So that's why first you have to highlight the scope and importance about your topic or theory. So that is the thing. Likewise, recent tendency and its influence. So now the national educational policy, so it's a recent issue now. So there you are going to think or you are going to create some ideas related to in what way we are going to get education year afterwards. How long we have carried that British culture. Now in what way we are going to follow the next, changing culture. That is the thing we are going to focus. Likewise here, you have to, whatever the topic or whatever the idea you are going to develop. So there you have to link with recent tendency and its influence. At the same time, you have to give some facts and figures. The data is must. Here, imagination is not possible, or just fictitious idea is not possible. So that's why you have to prove with some tendency, whatever the thing is going on at present, in what way that will move or in what way that will end. So suppose if you say in advance or suppose if you give that informations in your report, there I think it is very easy to understand or it is very easy to convince or it is very easy to secure ourselves. That is the thing here we are going to focus. That can also very much important in introductory part. Here the last one is meadow of study. What do you mean by this meadow? I think you may be aware. So meadow means it's only just one simile or metaphor we can say. So where the field is full with or filled with grass, it looks very differently and very nice also. In that way, you have to fulfill the informations in your report. That is the thing here. It says that too in terms of introductory part, that contents. So at the same time here, we have to focus elements also. Elements, I mean here, what are the things you are going to cover or focus or present? That thing here, we are going to consider that too in the introductory part. See here, state the research problem, which is often referenced to as the purpose of the study. So this is also very much important to consider because here you know that here we are in research. I mean, we are finding something new by having whatever the existing information. That is the thing, of course, we know. So here, whatever the problem or whatever the requirement or whatever the research gap is happening, so that thing you have to focus particularly. So there only it is possible to have your work may be acceptable or your work may be considerable. That is the thing here. Likewise, we have to provide the context and set the stage for your research questions in such a way as to show its necessity and importance. Present the rationale of your proposed study and clearly indicate why it is worth doing, and then briefly describe the major issues and sub-problems to be addressed by your research, and then identify the key independent and dependent variable of your experiment. Alternatively, specify the phenomenon you want to study. State your hypothesis or theory. If any for exploratory or phenomenological research, you may not have any hypothesis. Set the delimitation or boundaries of your proposed research in order to provide a clear focus. Also, provide definitions of key concepts, brief the study area which you focused. I mean, whatever the point here I have developed, these are all most of the movement we are going to cover in the first chapter or in a synoptic way of presentation. So there, where you go with the developing synopsis or first chapter about the thesis or dissertation, so there you have to highlight what are the works you have worked out in your research process. That thing you have to inform in advance in a little bit way. There only it is possible to follow your flow. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand what are the works you have carried out and which information is where you have focused, in what way you have analyzed, in what way you have interpreted, in what way you have developed some suggestions. That thing is not possible to understand very clearly. That's why where you go for developing any introduction part or introduction chapter, so there you must follow all these things when you are developing your proposal. So that is the thing. Here it says that elements of information. I mean, that is introduction part. So of course, I think you may have some ideas little bit with how to develop or how to consider or what are the things we have to focus in the part of introduction, I mean section. So now we have to think the another section, the literature review. Friends, here, whichever the idea you are going to focus for your research or project or assignment or case study, the basic thing is you need to have some informations, whatever the thing is happened or happening. So that is the thing first you have to collect. So for that, here we are having one, I mean, window, or you may say one door, or you may say hall, or you may say a word. And why I am going to say all these things? Because the literature is not having any boundary. It's a very wide. That too, nowadays, I think the present world gives whatever the information you are going to require, just you can use your one thumb is enough. So that is the thing. So the literature review is very much important to consider where you go for research or paper writing, research paper writing. So that's why this section is very much important. And in the introduction part, you just giving an information in what way you are moving forward. That is the thing only you are going to say there. But here it's not like that. Here, first you are going to understand what is the concept, how is working, in what way. I mean, you can consider your six friends because of being an academician, you should have always with him six elements are six friends. I am saying that is five W's and one H. We are going to say five W's and one H. I think you may be very familiar with that. Five W's: what, why, where, when, whom, like that we are going to use. And one H is how. Suppose if you have always in your life, there only you may build your confidence. There only you may forward whatever the problem you are going to face, or whatever the, I mean, you may face whatever the problem you are going to have. So that is the thing here. Literature review is very much important to consider. So that's why. So first let me understand in what way we are going to focus that literature review. Here I am just showing one slide which I collected from website. So that is, it says guidelines for writing a literature review. That is different. First we have to understand in what way literature review is very much important. So first we have to understand the important functions of literature review. So here that ensures that you are not reinventing the wheel. Yes, of course. Here you are not reinventing whatever the thing is already going on. So first you are going to understand whatever the thing is happened or already carried out or is going on. That thing first you are going to understand. So there you are not, I think, giving any new thing. By having all that information, then only you can think for further. So that is the thing here it says. And then it gives credits to those who have laid the groundwork for your research. Yes, of course, we should, I mean, respect, because whoever we are going to reference or whoever the person we are going to consider for basic informations, first we have to focus on that also. That's why we are having one part in the research report or article writing. So we have that reference and bibliography. We are having one section for them. There we are going to consider. So I mean, whatever their work already contributed, by having it, in what way I am going to move forward or giving new idea, in that way we are going to defend. So that's why here we should respect or we should give credits to those who are already contributed related to whatever the field you have chosen. That is the thing. And then demonstrate your knowledge of the research problem. Yes, that can also very much important, because where you find or where you go with any research problem, that should definitely developed by the research gap. That research gap is identified by literature review. That's why. So here you have to consider your knowledge in what way you are going to say this is the research gap. So in what way you are going to, I mean, develop this is the research problem. That thing you are going to focus. And then demonstrates your understanding of the theoretical and research issues related to your research question. Yes, of course. Sometimes whatever the concept we are going to see or we are going to reading, it's not possible to understand very easily or quickly. It takes time, because particularly the qualitative research work is not so easy to understand very quickly. It takes time. So that's why, because it's like a research is just like a diamond shape, because there are so many facets to see. So each facet may give different view. So that is the thing here first we have to understand. So that's why where you go with literature review, you should have some basic knowledge. You should have some perception or perceiving knowledge, or you should have some creative knowledge. Then only it is possible to consider. So likewise, it shows your ability to critically evaluate relevant, interactive information, as also literature information. So that can also we are going to consider. So, and then it indicates your ability to integrate and synthesize the existing literature. I mean, here what I am going to say, where you go for reading any previous literature, there how you are understanding, that is very much important. At the same time, sometimes that work may be acceptable or may not be. So at that moment, you have to, so whether you are criticizing or commenting, so for that you should have some knowledge. Otherwise, it is not possible to accept. So that is the thing here. Sometimes some contributions are make it may be acceptable, or sometimes that may not. But at the same time, that is related to regional base, geographical base, continent base, or human beings, I mean society. So these are the things we are going to focus. For that, you should have that ability. So that is the thing here. It says it provides new theoretical insights or develops a new model as the conceptual framework of your research. Yes, of course. Here, see, we are having concepts and theories. There are two terminology. So concept is not a static way. I mean, concept may be changed, but theory is not like that. Where we accepted universally, then it may be a theory. You know that most of the moment it start with approach, then proposition, after that concept, then theory. After it, we may have some models or formula like that. So this is the thing is going on. So the concepts where you consider, so most of the moment literature is the base. Theory, that contribution which is already done and final, in that way we are going to consider. So in that way here, where you go with the literature review, so you are going to get these insights. At the same time, it convinces your reader that your proposed research will make a significant and substantial contributions to the literature. Yes, of course. So this is the thing you have to give. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that's why where you go with the literature review, you should have very good knowledge and very good understanding and patience, because the reading process is not so easy. You should have free mind, then only you can get some informations whatever the situations they have quoted or mentioned, so that thing you can understand. Otherwise, it's very difficulty. One boy and one girl, where we say, so immediately our thoughts are totally different. A male or female, boy or girl, like that. Suppose if we quote, immediately our mindset is totally different. We are not matching with, equated with both the gender. So, but the thing, so where you have that knowledge, where you have that patience, where you have the, understanding about the situation, then only you can say is in what way they are not different or they are different. That is the thing here we have to understand by having literature. I hope why I am quoting that boy and girl, because boy and girl means normally it stimulates or in some extent automatically it creates some, what we can say, interest. So that is the thing. Suppose if I am going to say Mary and Maran means like, it's not like that. Boy and girl means only we can create like that way. Okay. So these are the things first we have to consider the importance of literature review. So now we are going to focus in what way the main objective or purpose for reviewing the literature. So here, first thing, of course, we know that. So the thing here, I'm going to list whichever the very important purpose we may focus. So that is the thing. One thing at a time, a good knowledge of the field of inquiry, facts, scholars, etc. Yes, of course. Where you go with the reading about the literature, whichever is very much related to your work or your concept or your idea. So you can get some more idea or some more knowledge or some more information related to your thought. That is the thing here it says. And then here methodologies are common to the field. Yes, of course. So literature review is one way of method to gather information. So that's why here, but just having a look on that paper is not enough. And then just having a reading is not enough. How you are going to collect the information one by one, which is very much required to develop a flow for your theory or concepts or idea. So that thing you have to follow some methods. And then it proposed research is really needed. Yes, definitely. Where you have that any proposals at that moment, literature review is very much important to consider, and it helps to narrow a problem. Yes, in some extent, sometimes our idea may be very wide and our macro view. So by having this literature, you can synchronize or you can minimize or you can narrow your idea. So that is the thing is also possible to get by the literature review. So at the same time, here generation of hypothesis argues, I mean, research questions or questions for further studies. I mean, here, hypothesis, most of the moment, it's a presumption or assumption, or we may have some outlook related to any one concept or idea. So that is the thing is possible where we collect more and more information related to our idea or our concept or our theory or our proposal. So at that moment, so you may have some very good information through this. That is the thing here it says. At the same time, it comments a long-term study of interest. Yes, literature review is not so easy. That's why most of the time we are going to suggest for our full-time scholars particularly, they are going to spend minimum 2 to 3 years for literature review. Then only you start your work, whatever the thing you have understood by having literature review. This is the thing we are going to suggest or guide like that. So, in this way, literature review is very much important to focus or consider. So here, one thing we should not think something. So that is the thing. Literature review is not what? An annotated bibliography, a list of unrelated sources, an argument about the importance of your research. I mean, an annotated bibliography. Sometimes some authors giving their idea in without having any base information. Just they are going to create or just they are going to propose, just they are going to develop some ideas. In some extent, that may be possible or may not be. I mean, here, these are all paradoxical ideas. At that moment only we may accept, but after it, it is not possible. That's why, so you should not consider that annotated bibliography. That is also one kind of maybe a wrong or maybe a right, but it is not possible to consider very seriously. At the same time, a list of unrelated sources. Yes, sometimes the topic, I think you know that. Suppose if you have any one topic, for example, stress management of banking employees, you are going to give one topic. Stress management level of banking employees, suppose if you give it, so that may be a related to all over the world or all over the country or all over the state or all over the district, like that we are going to find as an information. But here what is actually our focus is stress. Stress means here we are going to say in what way they are going to balance their work life. That can also we may say in another way. In what way they are going to balance their work life, or in what way they are going to engage their employee life. So that can also you may consider. I mean, what I'm going to say here, stress management level, I mean, for the employee, whether it may be a bank or whether it may be an insurance company, whether it may be a academic institutions or any government in offices, that is not the thing here. Where you go to, I mean, where you're giving this topic, you know, immediately that Google search engine is giving lakhs together, close together information. So that's why first you have to collect which is very much related sources for you. So you don't go with the unrelated. In some extent, may be useful because whatever the topic I have suggested, you know, for this, we are having one questionnaire, I mean, for the ready-made questionnaire also. That is, I think it is developed by Srivatsava. So he developed whatever the content we have to cover under stress. So everything he is focused. Some of our scholars only follow that only. So it's not good. So that's why here you have to review every information or every literature related to that, but you have to choose whichever is most suitable for you. That is the thing here we are going to say. An argument about the importance of your research. Yes, in some extent, most of our academicians, I'm not saying only scholars, most of our academicians, in some extent, they are going to argue or they are going to defend or even they may not compromise or convince with their work. Because, of course, whatever they did, it is right. Whatever they are doing, it is right. So whatever they will, yes, they are always right. In that way also we are going to see. particularly with the academicians, I am saying, don't mistake me, in some extent, we may have our own, self-confidence, or we can say in another word, that is ego or arrogance. I don't know which you are going to consider. But sometimes we are standing with this. Even we know, yes, I am wrong, but I am not ready to accept. This is the thing is, most of the moment we are having, but it should not. But it is not good. That's why here it says. So that is the thing here you are going to focus. With this here, you may start the process. Or you may move forward one by one, other one step to another step. That's why here where you go with the literature review concept, so there, first you have to choose the topic, then search and choose the literature, then analyze and interpret the literature. After that, write the review. This is very much important. So that's why here, first you have to decide about the topic. That is very much important. So then only you can start your work. If you are not finalizing, or if you are not confident with your topic, then there is no use, even if you go with very good literature. So that is the thing here you have to consider. So that's why most of the moment our scholars or teachers or academicians, even in some extent scientists also, I think Rudrakumar, somebody is not unmute their, mute their
Yes,
audio.
sir. Dear participants, please unmute yourself. It is disturbing the whole program now.
I
Please,
think they are
this is a
not,
request for you.
no, they are not near the system. I think they may somewhere, but switch on it and they may somewhere, I think.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
why.
sir. This is
Some
the thing.
vessels are sounding means they are not near to that. Okay. Here, in some extent, literature review suffers from the following problems. See, where we go with the literature review, in some extent, we are going to face some problems also. Because, of course, we are going to have lax together or close together information. But when we entered into that, we may find some information is not relevant, or some information is not fully focused, or some information is only just having some imaginations or assumptions like that. So that is the thing we may consider a little bit problem in literature review. We hear first one thing, lacking organization structure. So that literature review means most of the moment we are having some ready-made information related to some research work. I mean some articles or some theses or some reports or some case studies or dissertation like that we are going to have. But if it is not rightly structured or organized, then the information we may miss in some extent. That is the thing here it says. Because the reading is okay, seeing is okay, understanding that can also in some extent, of course, but how you are going to communicate that understanding is totally different. Because of that, in what way you have reviewed the literature, in what way you have focused, in what way it is organized, in what way it is structured, that is very much important to consider. That is the thing here it says. So here being repetitive and verbose, yes, in some extent, most of our academicians or teachers or scholars, they may prove their, I think, vocabulary or brilliance or whatever. So at that moment, most of the moment, they are going to use some jargons. So it's, I think in English, some words are giving totally different meaning for a particular situation. So that is the thing they are not go for understanding. Because recently I had one colloquium presentations in our department. They one that the scholar is used that word. What actually we are going to say, the culling. Culling. Why you are going to using the qualifying or culling in that way? But she don't know what for. So she is going to say the culling is a word. Of course, culling is a word. Why you are going to use this word? That too in this context means she is not able to explain. So these are the things we are going to, face. So where you have some literature review, so there also we may suffer. So that is the thing. Failing to cite influential papers. Yes, in some extent, some persons, that I think you may be aware of plagiarism or plagiarism, fabrication or copy, like that. These are the things, of course, most of our scholars are doing. In some extent, they are going to say, "Sir, without having any reference, without having any textual information, how it is possible to generate any idea?" So where you go for developing the concepts or theories, is it possible to change the same thing we are going to put in that way? What's wrong? They are going to claim. So of course, in some extent, we may agree, but they may say in different way, but they are not ready to. So this is the thing here. In sometimes the citation problem is happening. Some authors already worked out and they have given very good contribution, but this person maybe have some fabrication work in that, so he is not quoting author's name citation. That's why we are going to suffer in some extent. Who is the main contributor for that? So that thing is also we are going to face. Likewise, failing to keep up with recent developments. Yes, in some extent, sometimes we may face like this also. That is the thing. Literature review every day will come in, because the literature every day is creating. So in that way, the informations may be changed every moment or every seconds or every day. So that's why here, in some extent, it is not possible to get that recent developments. Likewise, failing to critically evaluate cited papers. Yes, because if you are not having adequate knowledge related to the concepts, then it is not possible to critique or comment particularly to that issue. So that is the thing we may sometimes face. And then citing irrelevant or trivial references. Yes, I mean here, so whether it is related or not, that is the different. But here, most of the moment we are going to quote a very, because we are having one section in our thesis, that is conceptual framework, or we may say theoretical framework. We are having one chapter is itself. So at that moment, some of our scholars, I'm not saying everyone, some of our scholars or academicians are developing that page content, the quantity of the pages. So they are putting all, whether it is related or unrelated, where that, I mean, that word is happening in that context or concept, they put everything in the thesis. That so this is also one more mistake we are going to do, but it's not good. So that's why here we are going to suffer that review. Depending too much on secondary sources. Yes, most of the moment, of course, literature review is itself secondary data in some extent, because here primary data means where we go for direct information with the respondents. So there, how you are going to collect, in what way you are going to understand, what are the mean or mode you are going to use, that is the thing you are going to focus. But here it is totally secondary data, maybe related to yesterday or today morning or last week or last month or last year or decade or century, like that we are going to think. So that's why we are going to suffer in some extent by having that literature review also. So here we have to focus that important tips. An organizational scheme should be used to arrange the literature. So I mean here, how we are going to organize the information, how we are going to develop the information, or how we are going to put the information, that is very much important, because most of the moment, whether it is research article or research thesis or dissertation or any report, first we have to give which are the references you have considered or which are the literature you have reviewed. So at that moment, first you have to consider some organizational ways as schemes. I mean here, topical order, chronological order, problem cause solution order, general to specific order, known to unknown order, comparison and contrast order, specific to general order. I mean here, suppose if you choose any topic, for example, if you consider that finance topic, for example, investment management, that is the topic you just imagine. Investment management, here investment means whether you may invest on physical assets or paper assets, stocks. I mean, long term or short term, or you may consider in another way. So the thing is here, which is first, which is next, which is your focus, which is not important. Like that, you have to organize. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Investment management is a common terminology, but on what you are going to invest, whether you are going to invest on long-term assets, that is physically, or just only intangibly, I mean stocks. You know that there you are going to get only one paper by investing 1 lakh or 10 lakh or crores together, but you are not seeing it, or you are not having any physical assets with you. So that is the thing here. First, you have to consider what type of investment you have, or you are going to focus. That is the thing. First, you are going to give in order. So next, chronological. For example, if you consider the time period, the publications period. So one paper is published in 2000, another one is 2015, another one is for 13. Like that, you are going to collect. First, you have to consider whether it is ascending way or descending way, because if you focus one by one in an order way, so there you are going to understand in what way this concept is developed, or in what way this concept is reviewed, or in what way this concept is changed. So that is the thing here you are going to understand. Otherwise, suppose if you put one is, I mean, 2010 is past, 2018 is next, another, the third part is 2002, mean there is no meaning. It is not possible to understand, because every year may be a changing moment. So that's why you should follow that chronological order. Likewise, problem cause solution. Yes, sometimes you may have some, I mean, ideas related to some problems. So that has to be related with that. So that is very much important. Otherwise, no use. If there is a problem is different and solution is different, there is no meaning at all. Likewise, general and specific, known to unknown, comparison and contrast, specific, general. So likewise, you have to classify. Likewise, you have to arrange. So with that only you can understand very clearly about the literature review. So that's why you should follow. This can also very much important where you go for organizing the literature. So that is the thing. So here one example here I'm just giving here, where we presenting literature, that too in the article or thesis. Most of the moment we are going to cover these contents: the author, title of the paper, editor or organization, and then title, place and period of the publication, publisher, year of publication, then core theme with objective and methodology, page numbers. Because when you reviewed any article, it may be around from 5 pages to 200 pages or 300 pages, like that. Means, I mean, research article to research thesis I am saying, where you go for referring it, there you have to develop in a core view, I mean, the gisted view. So for that, first you have to highlight in what way you are going to present. For this, we are having some formats. So for example, you are here seeing here Harvard referencing style, APA referencing style, Vancouver referencing style, MLA referencing style, Chicago referencing style, ACS, AMA, AGLC, CSC, IEEE scientific style. See, these are the formats we are having. Even I think we are practicing even now, that too with where you presenting your literature review, in what way you have reviewed your literature, in what way you have understand, or in what way you have developed that information. That thing we should present in the form of some format. So here we are very familiar with the APA referencing style as well as MLA referencing style. We are very much familiar. This Harvard or ACS or AMA, AGLC, these are all in some extent science based, I mean, format. But APA and MLA, we are thinking, of course, we are practicing. At the same time, here no one is aware. I think no one is bothered in some extent. Why should I go with APA or MLA? So that thing also we are seeing in our academic fraternity. So, but it's not a matter. But most of the moment we are going to follow APA and MLA. What is this APA? That is American Psychological Association format we are having. Likewise, one more, that is Modern Language Association we are having. So here that there is nothing. So most of, I'm already shown that one slide related to in what way you have to cover your literature. So here author name first, that is very much important, and then it follows with the period. It follows with the title of the paper or whatever the concepts. Then who published in which page. So these are the things. Suppose if you mention, so what is actually their objective, what is their research method, what is their conclusion, in what way they are going to defend their work. So that is the thing here we are going to consider in a literature review process. So this is the thing first you have to understand very clearly, then only you can move forward, because without literature review, it is not possible to generate any new idea. Why I am going to say, whatever the idea, suppose if you developed or created, that should have some, that should have some base. That base in some extent may be a literature. So that is the thing. Here with that, here in what way guidelines for writing a literature review. So the thing first you consider this, conduct a thorough literature. Actually, it is a thorough literature survey before you start. Ensure to present the research problem clearly. Compare and contrast the different views in the sources. A literature review should include title, abstract, index, introduction, corpus, bibliography, and appendices, and then mention the paper's methodology, analysis, instruments, equipments used in the study. Remember to cite properly, limit the bias, and then summarize the strengths and weaknesses of the study. Where you go for developing literature review in the form of one paragraph or one page or a few sentences, there it should cover everything like this. Without this information, I mean, it says you are not understanding properly. Just by mentioning author or title is not enough. In what way they have worked out, what is their objective, what is their research tools they used for proving their assumptions or objective. So that thing first we have to clear about it. Then only we can move it further. So that is the thing. Here we are going to further step. We may focus on that is research gap. Of course, here we are doing research. I mean, again and again investigating or searching the things whichever we are not knowing. Already known something, but we are moving forward to not knowing or unknown. So that is the thing. So that's why here, what is that unknown issue? What is that gap? So with that, here we are having one more content in our research proposal, that is research gap. A research gap is defined as a topic or area for which missing or insufficient information limits the ability to reach a conclusion for a question. Yes, in some extent. A research need is defined as a gap that limits the ability of decision makers from making decisions. Yes, of course. Here, whichever the topic you have chosen or whichever the situation you have carried out for your research work, it is not possible to cover everything. In some extent, that too for a human being is not possible. So because he is having his own boundary, he is having his own limitations. So that's why here we may have some research gaps, or we may have some unknown things, whichever the problem you have raised, there we may have some little bit solutions, or even we may have further unknown solutions also. So that's why here we have to focus research gap. So here, first you have to identifying reasons for the existence of research gap. So what actually that gap is happened, or in what way that the gap is you are going to consider. Yes, it is very much required in that way. Choose the most important reasons for the existence of the research gap. Yes. So where you say it is the research gap means first you have to identify the reason, what for. So why this thing is not possible, or why this thing is not worked out up to now. So that is the thing first you have to understand. Select the reasons that prevent conclusions about the evidence from the being made. That I mean here. So first you have to develop the reasons, or whichever the reasons they have quoted, that thing you first can consider. So then only you may, yes, it is right, or it is wrong, or it may be have some mistakes, or it may be have, it may not have any attempt. In that way, we may, or sometimes at that moment where the work was carried, at that moment the situations may be very serious, but now it may not be. So that thing also we may. So this is the thing. For example, communications. Now, suppose 10 years back or 20 years back, the communication process is not so easy. So by that you may have some problems where you go for organizing employees in the business premises, this is the one major reasons for miscommunication or not communicating properly, or what we are going to say, the barriers. So, but now it is not like that. Now we are having a different, I mean, shortly we are going to have 5G concepts also. So by that 5G, you may have some holograms. I mean, suppose if you call a person, he may appear before you. So that is the thing. I think you may aware of that. Geo communication services, they are going to provide one glass for you. I mean, spectacle. So in that, suppose if you call anybody, automatically that person is appear before you as a full form. There is a hologram. So this is the thing is happening. I mean, the communication is so easy. Now you can understand his expression, his feelings, his inner idea. So this is the thing is possible. That's why here, first we have to understand in what circumstances that reason was happened or the reason was considerable. So that is the thing. Classify the reasons for research gaps, including insufficient or imprecise information, biased information, inconsistency or unknown consistency, not the right information. Particularly, suppose when we go with women employees, the problem of women employees, at that moment we may have some constraints or we may have some bias. So these are the things in one moment. Suppose if you think that 30 years back or 40 years back or 20 years back, the shift movement, suppose if you think on that shift basis work, now they are going even late midnight. I mean, 2 o'clock they are going to start their work. Now is happening. But 10 years back or 20 years back, suppose if you think the lady is going in the midnight, means they are thinking differently. So these are the situations first we have to understand. We have to analyze in what circumstances or on what base they have developed like that. Now, is it possible to solve or resolve or change in that way? We are going to think that too with the research gap. So here mainly we have to focus this research gap, particularly that characterizing that too with the 5 factors, the PICOS, that is population, intervention, comparison, outcomes, and settings. So where you considered any research work, normally it is highly depending upon these 5 factors: population, intervention, comparison, outcomes, and settings. That's why PICOS is very much important, because we are going to say. So here population means information regarding the population that is not adequately represented in the evidence base. So that is gender or race or ethnicity or age or whatever. Because where you think of that variables, there we are having different types of variables. So that is the thing. So by that we may have some gaps. So that can also possible. I mean, I'm already quoted that male and female. So here gender concept. So that male and female, it is not possible to equate with every aspects or every situation or every idea. So that's the thing. So likewise, we are having some race problem. Here we are calling in a different. So that is different. At the ethnicity or race, in some extent, we are going to face. So the same way, age is also one of the factor. So at that moment, you may find some gaps. So another one, that is intervention, information regarding the specific intervention that is inadequately included in the evidence base, the duration of the intervention. So that is the thing also very much important. So where you focus on any issue related to people or a machine or any other concepts, so there in how you involve in that, or how you collect the information related to that, or how you worked out on that. So that says the research gap. Sometimes it is not possible to cover everything. For example, you know that some TV channels, for example, history or discovery or geographic, there they are going to watch some animals or birds. I think throughout the day or throughout the week or throughout the month or throughout the year itself. So there they are going to consider very seriously in that. That is the intervention. In what way they are going to collect the information, particularly with how they are going to specifically intervene. That is the very important the thing we have to consider, that that too with the research gaps. And then comparison, lack of information regarding the comparison intervention or standard intervention. Yes, in some extent, yes, of course, because you know that I'm just what I said, that animals, so lions, tigers, they are just like a pets in some countries, but here we are so afraid about that animals. So in what way? So that the comparison is totally difficult. Yeah, how they are going to, I mean, nurture that animals in their home itself. That too with python. You just observe that snake, very big snake, the python. They are, I think, nurturing in their home itself, I think. So how this thing is possible? Is it not possible in our home or in our country or in our place? So this is totally different. That's why the comparison is also in some extent create the gap. Outcomes, information regarding outcomes of interest organized by type of outcome or timing of outcomes to delineate where information is lacking. Yes, when that information is coming out, when that output is introducing with the society, that is also one more important, because one time is not definitely matched with another time. That is the thing here we are going to focus. Likewise, setting information regarding the relevant settings for research gaps. Yes, in some extent we are going to miss. So these are the things we are going to consider in terms of characterizing that too with the research gaps. So if you understand very clearly all these things, when you go with your research process, then it is very easy to develop your research report. So that is the thing. So now here we are, how we are going to conceive the research question, because where you go through the research gap by having literature review, immediately you may have some questions in your mind. So that questions how you are going to develop, in what way, on what base you are going to develop, that is the thing is very much important, because that question is itself your research problem. So that question is itself problem, you can say research problem. So that's why how we are going to develop that research question, or how we are going to consider that research question, is very much important. The research question is the uncertainty about something in the population that the investigator wants to resolve by making measurements on his study subjects. Yes, here no shortage of questions as one leads to another. Yes, of course, whichever the gap you have chosen for that, so there first you have to raise some questions. So why this thing is not possible to happen? On what base or where, when, like that you are going to develop some questions. So that's why here, for established investigator, I mean, who is already very expert in that, so the best research question usually emerge from findings and problems faced and observed in prior studies and in those of other workers in the field, that is major players. Yes, for definitely we have to agree. For the established investigator, he can understand very easily and thoroughly. So by that he can develop. By that he can develop. So who are the major players, or who are the main persons, or what are the reasons, in that way he is going to develop. With that, I think he can start his research work. But for new and other investigators, so there first they have to mastering of the literature, being alert to new ideas and techniques, keeping the imagination roaming, attending seminar, workshops, and conferences. This thing is for particularly in some extent. Here, I am not saying this is only for new. Why not establish? We may have some questions, but here it's not like that. In some extent, we have to accept this thing. First, he has to understand very clearly whatever the literature he have reviewed, in what way he understood, in what way he is very much capable for communicate. That thing also very important. And then whatever the idea he is going to develop, first he has to think whether that idea is possible or feasible or acceptable. Then only he can move with that. And then in sometimes whatever the presumptions or assumptions or hypotheses or imaginations, sometimes may be or may not be. So this thing is possible where he survey, where he do some survey, or where he attend some seminars or workshops or conferences. By that he may clarify his doubts, or clarify his questions, or clarify is whatever the gap is happened in the previous research work. So that is the thing is possible. So that's why here we have to think where this thing is origin. So that is the thing here it says. Okay. So now here we have to consider a little information related to in what way the research question is. Something you want to know about your discipline or about a specific area within your discipline. That is very much important to consider. not a topic or fragment or phrase or sentence. It ends with question mark. Yes, definitely. Sometimes we may have like this information. It's not clear and it is not adequate. Sometimes even whatever the information we have with us, that may have some totally confusions. That conclusion is not final. So that is the thing. So that's why in what way you have collected that information is very much clear. It should not be a fragment. It should not be a phrase, or it should not be only just a single sentence or a few sentences. That is the thing. And clear and precisely stated. It is not too broad, nor it is too narrow. Yes, that is also very important. Where you go for developing research questions, it should be very clear. It should be very clear. That is very much important to understand. So, for example, one topic you take it for I mean the stress management level. Whatever I said it that here most of the moment stress means normally it happens with the female workers, not with the male workers. This is the assumption whatever we have in our mind. I hope you may agree with me. So the assumption or hypothesis is stress level normally happening only for female employees, not for male employees. This is the thing we are having one hypothesis. Now, here we have to consider yes, how you are going to say yes. This is very difficult. And no. So how you are going to say no? So that can also very difficult because now there is no any differences among male or female while they are in working, of course. But the family responsibility that is different. That too now we are not finding that also because we are having a living together concepts. That too, I mean, already approved by that Supreme Court of our country. So with that here, where there is no such a relationship or there is no such a family commitment, then how can we say they are so stressed? Why not for a male? Why not for female? Like that, we may raise some questions. So that's why it should be very precise. It should be very clear. It should not narrow. It should not too broad like that. We have to consider. And then open-ended as opposed to closed. It cannot be answered in sentence or phrase. Yes, of course. Where we go for developing questions, normally we are having two types. One is open-ended, another one is closed-ended. Open-ended, closed-ended here, most of the moment say yes or no, like that we are going to have. So open-ended means we are going to give option to answer that respondent. So the respondents are giving different answers one to another. So it's not possible. Suppose if you give option closed-ended, so there they may take any one of it. So where you have that any one of it, there you may conclude in some extent. But if it is open, where there is 100 questionnaire is having 100 answers, it's very difficult to conclude. So this is the thing you are going to focus where you go for developing research questions. So that is the thing we have to. So the next content here we are going to focus that is how to formulate research problem. So where you have research, literature review, then a research gap. After it, you are going to find that the research questions. So there you are going to trying to answer for that questions. That question is itself in some extent, or you may say it's a research problem. Research problem is also very much important. First, you have to understand what actually you are going to focus the idea or the theory or the, information. So that should be a problem well defined, is off solved. That is the thing you should have. So of course you have chosen one problem, but already in some extent that problem is awfully solved. So further you are, because you are moving the gap you are going to filling. So that is the thing, known to unknown. So that's why suppose if you have some very good base information, there it is possible to move forward as well as you can complete also. That is the thing first you have to consider. The formulation of the problem is often more essential than its solutions. Yes, in some extent, how you are going to formulate the problem, that will lead the end solution. So otherwise you may have some confusions or you may not possible to complete also. That thing also possible. How the problem is framed determines what solution is obtained. The research problem drives subsequent stages of research process. And then proper problem definition ensures that research results will meet decision makers' objectives. Most of the moment, our scholars or academicians not understanding very clearly with the research problem because, of course, they have passed through literature review, research gap, research questions, but in what way they are going to defend their or define their research problem? Because of course, where they go with in depth, that too with the part of research gap, there itself they may come to know that what are the reasons is happened or is not possible to cover. So that thing you are going to choose in terms of problem or in a challenge. So with that you may develop some definition of problem, I mean research problem. Otherwise, it's not possible to cover. So in what way you are going to follow the step-by-step activity that too in the research problem or problem definition. First, you are going to understand the business situation, identify the key symptoms. Here, I am giving in one context, that's why. Then identify the problems from symptoms. I mean, by having literature review, you may observe some reasons or symptoms or facts or situations. So by that first you have to identify and isolate. That is the very much important. Then write managerial decision settlement and corresponding research purpose. Yes, of course. Then you are going to develop. So that is the thing in what way you are going to do the research. For example, in an organization, there are some problems is happening in one hierarchy to another hierarchy or one level to another level. At that moment, we may start with some observations, you may start with some experiments, or you may start with some communications. So by that, you may do some research. That is the thing we are going to say. So then determine unit of analysis where you are going to focus, that thing you have to decide. Then determine relevant variables that can also, whatever I said it, that in an hierarchy or in an organization level, there are some variables, maybe dependent or interdependent or what can independent. So these are the things we are going to focus. State research questions or objectives or hypothesis. Most of the moment, your research questions may be a research objectives. So the thing is here, first you have to define very clearly the research problem. That is the thing you are going to focus. Now we have to develop research objectives. So normally we are having general objectives as well as specific objectives. General objectives cover some sub objectives. Specific objectives directly go with the, I mean, micro as well as macro, or we are going to say inductive research as well as deductive research we are having. So on that base, we are going to develop our objectives. Of course, here whether it is general or specific, first most of the moment you are going to have any objective to start with the study or know or understand the conceptual framework or theoretical background of the issue. Then you are going to analyze whatever the thing is happening in the present situation, that means existing theory into practice. Then evaluate the difference between theory and practice. Then identify the reasons for variations. Then develop suitable recommendations or inferences or suggestions or any model. So this thing here I am giving in general, particularly here you may apply whichever the problem or whichever the concepts you are going to take it as your research problem. So you can go with that, but the process or the steps you are going to follow, suppose by having like this, so definitely you can easily go forward or go with that. That is the thing here I am stating. So where you have any objectives, immediately we are going to thinking about that hypothesis also, because research process is not having any boundary. So you may have some, I mean, you are going to fix your boundary because scope of the study we are going to say. So whatever the issue you have taken for your research work, first you have to decide about the scope or the boundary or the limitation. So that is the thing. So for that limitation, you are going to develop some hypothesis. So I'm already told you that we are having some 6 friends with always with us. That is the thing. So what, who, where, when, how, why. So on the basis of these friends, you are going to assume or presume, or even you may imagine or guess or hunch or whatever you consider the word. So there you are predicting something about the future related to your problem or a situation. That is the thing we are going to say hypothesis. Here, hypothesis is an assumption about a population parameter. It is a statement about the population that may or may not be true. Yes, of course, here it's only a imaginations. So here, this is defined as the formal statement of the tentative or expected prediction or explanation of the relationship between two or more variables in a specified population. That is the thing we are going to consider. So it helps to provide link to the underlying theory and specific research question. It helps in a data analysis and measure the validity and reliability of the research. It provides a basis or evidence to prove the validity of the research. Of course, in some extent, whatever the imaginations or assumptions, whichever you developed in advance. So suppose if you have that target or if you have that objective, definitely you can reach. So that's why this is used as an experiment to define the relationship between variables. The purpose of the hypothesis is to find the answer to a question. Yes, of course, whatever the objective or research question you have developed, for that you are going to develop in advance some answers, some solutions you are going to imagine. Sometimes it may happen, sometimes it may not be. So that's why that hypothesis is also having some types. Normally or in general, we are having two hypotheses. One is null hypothesis, another one is alternate hypothesis. We are quoting in terms of H0 and H1. So there, most of the moment, null hypothesis always stand with negative view. The alternate hypothesis, whatever the alternate may be a positive. So that is the thing we are going to develop. So by that, where you develop that hypothesis, on that you are going to test whether it is possible or not possible, or whether it is true or false, whether it is positive or negative. Like that, you are going to have some one negative, one positive view. So that thing you are going to analyze or test or interpret through some statistical parameters. So if I go with the statistical parameter, it is not possible to complete within a hour or within a day. It takes so many times. So that's why here I just quoted the one chart, which are the tests we are going to consider for that. Because here, where you go for developing hypothesis, only the two concepts you have to focus. One is relationship, another one is variations, I mean difference. Where you go with the relationship, normally we are having some statistical tools related to that. That is correlation or regression or chi-square, cochrane, like that we are having. So where you go with the difference, ANOVA, MANOVA, ZT, like that we are having. So suppose if you apply with that, definitely you can prove your assumption. It is possible also in some extent. You are going to get any one of it, whether it is null or alternate. So that's why don't go with the new techniques or which is relevant or which is not relevant. Don't think very seriously. Whichever the easy method, whichever the easy tools, suppose if you focus, I think it's very clear to define. It is very clear to communicate. That's why most of the moment I am going to say for my scholars, don't go with the some complex tools. It's not necessary also. So that is different, because some extent some tools are not relevant to with determining the relations or difference, but we are going to focus on everything, factor analysis, cluster analysis. So like that, there are so many things. Recently we are having that is KMO, that is almost like that we are having another one, that is what we can say the relationship based tools. So there are so many tools now we are going to focus, but we don't know what for we are going to focus. We don't know what actually the result is giving, because SPSS package, suppose if you feed the information, I mean variables into that, non-parametric or parametric, you don't know exactly. So you are going to apply under parametric as well as non-parametric. Both are giving some results, but in what way you are going to explain, in what way you are going to understand. So that is totally difficult. But, some scholars, they are trying on their own. They are learning SPSS. By that they are going to work. But even now, some scholars are not ready to learn or understand. So always they are going to depending upon that outsourcing. That outsourcing person is giving results for science faculty, commerce faculty, arts faculty in the same manner. So, but here no one is understanding what is going to give the data. This is going on, of course, but where you go with that, this thing is very much important to consider. Now here, research methodology. Research methodology is highly based on your research problem, particularly on that, and then hypothesis. So how you are going to collect the data, because your objectives is end process. Objective is beginning, hypothesis is ending. Already you are fixing the boundary of your research. So from the point of objective, you are going to reach with your hypothesis. There, in what way you have followed the tools or techniques or methods or data related to your concept. So these are the things we are going to focus in terms of research methodology. Here, most of the moment, whatever the point here I have mentioned, so these are the things is possible to cover. Definitely, you have to go with that. If I go with explanation of all these points, I think it takes another half an hour, because I am also busy with some other work. That's why I'm just skipping. But it is very important to consider. You can go with that. I think it is possible to understand also. So here I just giving one theory on that. Methodology is the underlying and unifying of any research project. Methodology controls the study, dictates how the data are acquired, arranges them logical relationship, refining and synthesizing the raw data so that the meaning that lie below the surface of those data become manifest and yields conclusions that leads to expansion of knowledge. I have already told you that most of the moment from the point of literature review, you are going to develop the research problem. So there you are going to define in what way your research problem is very much useful to do the research. So for that, you are going to start with the objectives and with the hypothesis proving the hypothesis. So there it may be your assumption may be a right or wrong, that is different. But through that boundary or a scope, you are going to cover. So that process, whatever the thing you are going to carry out in between these objectives and hypothesis, that is we are going to say the methodology. Most of the moment, information is the base, experiment is the base, then only you may come to conclusion. So that is the thing here. So for that, here in collecting the data, the researcher must decide which data to collect, how to collect the data, who will collect the data, when to collect the data. So like that, you have to focus, then only your work may be very good. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So where you go for developing any report, you should follow all these things. Otherwise, it's not possible to give very good information to community. So that is the thing you have to focus very seriously. So that's why here we are, where you go with the data, we are having quantitative data as well as qualitative data. Quantitative data, normally we are going to collecting in terms of numerical way. So that cannot be changed in some extent, but qualitative data is not like that. It is purely behavioral issues or character based issues. At that moment, it is very difficulty to carry or maintain or even for consider. So that is the thing where you go with the data. It's very seriously focused what type of data you are going to collect, who is your right respondent, how you are going to get that information, in what way you are going to analyze or interpret or conclude. That can also very much important. You are going to think on that research method, that too with the process between objectives and hypothesis. So by having all this, we are going to develop that research proposal. Even sometimes we are going to make some mistakes. So of course you may agree with all these points. Failure to provide the proper context to frame the research question, failure to delimit the boundary conditions of your research, failure to cite landmark studies, failure to accurately present the theoretical and empirical contributions by other researchers, failure to stay focused on the research questions, failure to develop a coherent and persuasive argument for the proposed research. Yes, these are all common, that too for academicians or scholars or students in some extent. I'm not saying for everyone is the same, but in some extent, these are the things we are going to face where they go for developing research proposal or submitting research proposal. So with this, I would like to say my gratitude in the term I like that is thank you one and all for spending your time for my presentation. I hope definitely you may have little bit information by my presentation, maybe useful also. Of course, it's my duty to convey. whatever the responsibility is given by my friend Rudra Kumar. Suddenly he came and asked, and immediately he is going to organize. I think he takes only 15 days. Not, I think even not it is the 15 days. Immediately he said it. Of course, I encouraged because it is very much important for academicians. Here there is no any exception because we are always learners. Of course, students may be complete their education in some extent or some period, but teachers are not like that. They are always learners. I mean, the full-time student job they are having. So with that, here I am trying to give a little bit information related to how to write the research proposal. For that, I have covered a little bit information which is highly relevant to that. So with this, I would like to say my thanks to the institutions, the department, and the faculty, as well as the students. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the fruitful session. I think an excellent knowledge you are sharing to the entire teaching fraternity. And if there are any questions from the
Yeah,
participants,
please.
I think sir is going to.
I have one more program, that's why. If any questions, free to ask. I think no one is there.
No, sir. In the chat box also there is no questions are there, and chat box they were given a feedback regarding it was a very excellent session, and it is understood by them clearly. So that's why there is no question is there, I think.
Okay, it's okay. Because this is known
Okay,
factor,
sir.
of course, every scholars has to follow. Even teacher is also already known that, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
of course, to some extent, some format is missing. Suppose if we follow that format, definitely we can complete the work. That is the thing I just want to
Yes, sir,
comment.
yes. It was
Okay,
not there, sir.
thank you. Any question?
Participants. Yeah, one question is there. In how
Yes,
many
please.
words included?
How many words
Dr.
include?
Atul Bade, he asked in how many words include in research proposal? I think he
How
is
many
asked
words?
how many words is to be included in research proposal.
How many words is to be included in a research proposal? I mean,
Yes.
he is going to say synoptic note, where we go for developing synoptic note related to research work. How many words? I think instead of he has to ask pages, but now here he is going to ask only words. You see here
Words to be
research.
used for abstract only.
Yeah. Research question and hypothesis. So suppose if you convince very clearly, with have some a little bit introduction is enough. Here there is no any boundary with developing research proposal, because research proposal is highly based on what base you are identified research problem. So for that, what are the literature you have reviewed and what are the questions you have raised? In what way you are going to start your work and end the work? So these are the things if you go for, So there, I think it is not possible to limit. In some extent, normally we are going to follow the research proposal. He is having nearly 16 to 25 pages. Normally, now we are seeing 16 to 25 pages, that to two-sided, I am saying. That to two-sided. So I think with that, they are going to submit. So I hear that if you count that word means there is no meaning at all, I think. Okay, but 16 to 25 pages normally they are going to submit in terms of research proposal. At the same time, suppose if you go for business, you know that the project reports. Project reports is also one kind of proposal. So for example, suppose if you go for loan on our self-employment, so there the project report is related with 100 pages, 200 pages also. So here, whatever he asked is right, of course, but we should not fix that limitations in our work. I think whichever is possible to cover, whichever is very much important to communicate, that should based on or that should based on whatever the pages you are going to consider. I think. Hope he may be convinced.
Okay, sir. I think the answer was acceptable by the participant. If there are no questions, I will move on to the next, the last event of the session is
Thanks.
vote of thanks.
So I think you only the give vote of thanks, huh?
No, sir. My another colleague is there.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because you are there in the resource persons today, I was take up the MC. Okay. Thank you, participants. Sir, you have given us a very good information and excellent knowledge sharing by whatever the actual knowledge is collected by you by getting the knowledge from various sources and various areas also. Now we are having a final stage of the first day. I request Mr. Sridhar V, Lecturer, Department of Commerce, to thank the guests, resource person, and the participants.
Good afternoon. Teaching and learning is a continuous process. To meet the requirements of the students, the teachers have to update our knowledge. With this objective, we made an attempt to organize the faculty development program for the benefit of the teachers. Now we have come to the end of the first day faculty development program. In this occasion, I wish to extend my sincere thanks to the chairperson of the function, Dr. Puappa Gowda K, principal of our college, for his benign presence and support. Thank you, sir. I wish to acknowledge our sincere gratitude to the management of our college for their active support. Thank you, sir. I wish to express our sincere thanks to Professor Balchandra sir, academic advisor, for his valuable suggestions and guidance in the conduct of faculty development program. Thank you, sir. I wish to offer our sincere thanks to the resource person, Dr. B. Nagaraju, Professor of Commerce, University of Mysore, who is considered as the pivot for the success of the program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I wish to offer a bouquet of thanks to the participants of various colleges who made this program colorful and successful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. In this occasion, I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to my colleague, Assistant Professor Rudrakumar MM, who took all the pains and served as the backbone in organizing this function. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to Ratnavati D, IQAC coordinator, and all other teaching and non-teaching staff for their direct and indirect help and support and guidance. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for you also, sir. As a part of our FDP program, all my colleagues of Department of Commerce, we have 8 members. For all the 8 members, I thank them all for their participation and encouragement, and took the risk for conducting of this faculty development program. So I think it was a very fruitful session for every persons. And then I conclude with my gratitude to my teacher, Dr. Nagaraj sir, Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Okay,
much for
thank you.
accepting my invitation. And I think I was going only for a one-day webinar, but you have suggested me, why not you go for FDP? So that's why I took this particular chance, and with your support only, I was able to go for conducting the FDP, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for
Okay, thank you very much.
this.
Okay.
Thank
I
you, sir.
take leave. I take leave.